So coming up Sunday is Money in the Bank 2014, and I will be honest with you, my excitement level for this show at this particular moment is not that high. There's 7 announced matches for this show, and I really only give a shit about 2 of them. Less than half the card. Now, the 2 that I really care about are the 2 featured matches, the 2 most important matches, so that's at least a good thing. But this goes back to my partially part of my concern with the WWE Network in the sense that it could devalue the WWE pay-per-view in terms of, instead of having the pressure of delivering and trying to justify a $45 or $55 price point for a show every month, now the WWE only has to worry about justifying a $9.99 price point every month. And to me, I thought that it could lead to an eventual slow, gradual de-emphasis of the pay-per-views, and even more drastically important to me, a devaluing in the importance of setting up and building up to those pay-per-views on the Raws and the Smackdowns and what have you. And to me, this road to Money in the Bank has been a clear indication of at least some of the concerns that I have. 7 matches, and I really only give a crap about 2 of them. That's not good. Now, I will say this, that most of the matches on the card, even the ones that I don't care about, have the ability to potentially deliver nicely come Sunday. Matches I don't care about, like Big E and Rusev. I don't think Big E's an established enough patriotic figure to work a kind of nationalistic angle with Rusev. Rusev bashing the American government at this point in time is going to get him a babyface reaction, not a heel reaction. Again, not the smartest thing in the world to do, my opinion. But these 2 guys could actually have a bit of a surprising strongman match. We've seen Big E occasionally be able to do some crazy stuff, so maybe he'll pull something out here, and this could be a match that surprises. Rybaxel versus the Dust Devils, as I'll call them. Goldust and Stardust, I guess. I don't really care about the match, but the match could at least actually be solid. Layla versus Summer Rae with Fandango as a special guest referee. They've had some story to this, but they seem to have petered off a little bit on it the past couple of weeks, and now here it is. It's a pay-per-view match, and Fandango's a guest referee. Maybe this will be more notable for maybe Fandango leaving Layla and going back to Summer Rae, maybe him saying screw the both of them and going off on his own. I don't really know. But it is what it is. The Divas title match, Naomi and Paige, if they sit there and let these girls just go out there for 8 or 10 minutes and really do what they could do and really allow them to work, this could be a really damn good Divas title match and potentially be one of the better matches on the card. But if this is just being used as a vehicle or an avenue to really kick the Naomi and Cameron split and eventual feud underway, then no thank you, not interested. And again, it's just amazing to me. You took Paige, you just had to have her win the belt the night after WrestleMania, and you have done absolutely nothing over the past 2+ months to make her in any way a compelling character on television. Even if you're a big Paige fan, how could you be entertained by anything that she's doing at this point other than some of her in-ring work? I mean, they have made her dull. They have made her boring. They have done the best they can to make you not give a shit about her, just like they do with pretty much every other diva. The tag title match, between Rowan and Harper and the Usos. I've seen these 4 guys touch enough. I don't want to necessarily see them touch anymore. Yes, there's reason and purpose and story to them having a feud, but again, it's like so many of these other things in terms of the way these feuds are being set up and structured. It's too much match, and then here's another match that we expect you to pay for. Match, here's the match that we expect you to pay for. The lack of originality, the lack of creativity when it comes to setting up these feuds and building up to these matches at these pay-per-views or special events really concerns me for the future of this company, because it seems like they are really kicking it into half-ass mode, hence why I'm kind of half-assing this preview show. Apparently on the pre-show, we're going to get the big address from Daniel Bryan. The one thing I'd like to know from Daniel Bryan, other than maybe when he's going to come back, because God knows this company desperately needs him at this point in time, is I thought you were supposed to be refusing to give up the belt, and you weren't going to give it up without a fight, and they were going to have to take it away from you, and and then all of a sudden they made that announcement, and then the belts are just there on Raw, and you're nowhere to be seen. I hope you can answer that. Just saying. Oh God, here comes Marcus Smart in the D. Bryan universe, sitting there with their flaming keyboard fingers of fire, getting ready to blast my ass. Whatever, fuck you. Uh, let's go to the two featured matches, though. The Money in the Bank ladder match. I'm glad the WWE added it to this show. I'm glad the WWE did the right thing and put this match on this show because it needed to be on this show. I'm disappointed that they made it seem like such a last minute decision with only it being on Raw this week that we even got the official announcement of who all was going to be in this match. Couldn't we have treated this a little more important? It's ultimately called Money in the Bank. This is the one true Money in the Bank ladder match. The winner of this match gets a guaranteed title shot at a time of their choosing, anytime between Sunday and Money in the Bank 2015. Could we not make this more important? I'm just saying. As far as who you might think was going to win, some people might have thought Wade Barrett, but now he's hurt, so you pretty much kiss that goodbye. I mean, you could always say Jack Swagger would sit there and screw it up. They've had him win a briefcase match once, and it didn't go well. You can sit there and have Kofi. I couldn't even say it with the straight face, Kofi. He's in there to provide the Shelton Benjamin 2-3-0 shit moments and then get the fuck out of the way so they can bother with somebody else. It's going to come down to Rollins and Ambrose. I think Rollins needs to be the guy to win. I think he's the guy that should win, and I hope ultimately the WWE makes the right decision and has him win. Because otherwise, why sit there and break up the Shield? Otherwise, why sit there and have Seth Rollins turn heel, in part saying that it was good for his business, if he doesn't capitalize on this opportunity, if he doesn't make the most out of this opportunity, and he doesn't win this Money in the Bank contract come Sunday? Why do it? You need to validate that heel. You need to establish that heel. You need to give him a reason and a purpose to validate his decision as the architect of the Shield to blow up his creation. Well, if he doesn't win Money in the Bank come Sunday, then it was fucking stupid and it was all for naught. So hopefully the WWE goes in the right direction here, and I think they will. And we get to the WWE World Heavyweight Championship ladder match. And there's a lot of different directions you could go here. And you could make a lot of arguments in terms of what direction the WWE should go here. Now, I did a video, and I'll put a link to it in the description box if you didn't see it, about how I would book these two feature matches for Money in the Bank 2014. So you could check that out if you want to know my full thoughts. But in terms of this match, I mean, you could make an argument for Cesaro winning. You're saying, hey, it's right. He's got a main event type manager with him in Paul Heyman. Here's somebody new for somebody like a John Cena to feud with, potentially a Daniel Bryan to feud with. You can have him feud with Brock Lesnar down the road. You have matchups and opportunities, and it's absolutely right. You could sit there and have a Sheamus win it, as much as it might make a lot of you want to vomit in your mouth, including maybe me. You could sit there and use that as a facilitator towards a necessary heel turn to actually try to make Sheamus an interesting, compelling character again. You could argue that Bray Wyatt needs to win it, especially after getting done with his feud of doom with John Cena. He needs this type of signature victory here. But again, is he really ready for that strap? I mean, ADR, no. You could argue Randy Orton. Maybe there would be some intrigue there with Rollins holding the briefcase and Orton holding the title. Maybe that's a way to tease a split up of the group as a whole, start a feud between Randy Orton and Triple H. Maybe you send Seth Rollins with Triple H and Randy Orton goes his own, and maybe Rollins feuds with Orton. There are possibilities there if you still have an Orton win. It always sets the table back up for a Daniel Bryan return in the future Daniel Bryan title match, maybe at a SummerSlam. Possibilities abound here. You could sit there and maybe have Kane in it. There has to be a reason why they decided to have Kane be a last-minute entry into it. If you think Daniel Bryan's going to be back come SummerSlam and that's the title match you want to go with, you could have Kane win this motherfucker here, so that way Daniel Bryan's coming back at SummerSlam to get his title, or even Battleground, hell, let's say. There's a lot of different directions you could go in. The way they were presenting it made it seem like they could go the Roman Reigns direction, and I ultimately think now is not the time. I don't think that's the right thing to do for him. I don't think it's the right thing to do for the company. I don't think it's the right thing to do for the fans. He's going to be a world champion at some point, you would assume, unless they test him out. You'll have to learn to accept it. And, at least it would be a new type of Superman act as opposed to Cena's tired Superman act. But I don't think the time's just yet. And I think part of the reason they've been presenting him in a way that says that he would do it is because they're trying to get to what's really important to them, which is Triple H and Reigns, at SummerSlam. Unfortunately, the way I look at it at this point is the guy that's most likely to win it is John Cena. Maybe they're getting to John Cena and Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam over the title. It's just, I hate to sit there and just flat out say that I'm almost at the mantra of anybody but Cena. But ABC, anybody but Cena. There are so many different directions they could go here. There are so many different possibilities for what they could do here. There are so many guys that could get a huge lift out of this in terms of their character and from a creative standpoint if they won this belt here. To have John Cena do it just fucking goes to show that the WWE can't get out of its own way, and they can't get over the fact that they have this huge ring boner for John Felix Anthony Cena. It is fucking ridiculous. Now, some of you will sit there and say, I could put up with the Cena title win just so that way he could drop the belt to Lesnar. Well, what happens if he drops the belt to Lesnar at SummerSlam? And this is all speculation here. And then coming back at Night of Champions, knowing Brock's not going to carry the belt a whole long time. What if Cena wins that fucking belt back? Then what did you accomplish there? Other than Cena being a 16-time world champion, if that scenario take place, and then he would be tied with Ric Flair for the most world title wins of recognized official world title wins of all time. Oh, God. So anyways, I kind of half-assed this preview because, like I said, the build-up to Money in the Bank has been kind of half-assed. I hope to not half-ass the review come Sunday night, Monday morning, and I actually expect this show to deliver. I expect this show to have 4 to 5 quality matches. I would expect and hope that both of the latter matches really deliver strongly, which is what they need to do. And to me, as much as the match itself, it's going to come down to the finishes of those 2 feature matches and how it's packaged and how it's presented and how it is executed in terms of whether or not I enjoy the show or not. So make sure to tune in after Money in the Bank 2014 to get my review of the show. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you expect. Who do you think you're going to win the 2 ladder matches come Sunday night? I want to see all your thoughts in the comments down below. Later.